You ever look up at a streetlight and, just see a light? Well, there's a company called Popper, and they see something radically different. They see a solution to one of the biggest challenges our cities are about to face, a way to power the next revolution in transportation. And believe me, this revolution is coming a lot faster than you think.
The future is practically here. I mean, our streets are about to be filled with millions of electric vehicles, a lot of them driving themselves. It's this clean, super efficient, and honestly, pretty exciting vision for how we get around our cities. A world where your car drives you and it runs on clean energy. But this incredible leap forward comes with a massive, and I mean massive, hidden problem.
Yeah, it's the multi-billion-dollar question, right? Where are they all going to get their juice? We're talking about a colossal new demand for electricity, and it needs to be delivered conveniently, right there on the curb. And right now, our infrastructure is it's nowhere near ready for that kind of shock to the system.
So this is the heart of the problem. Experts call it the urban infrastructure bottleneck, and it really is the single biggest hurdle standing between us and that sleek, electric, autonomous future we all see coming.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's not as simple as just installing a bunch of new plugs. First off, our existing power grids, they just can't handle millions of cars charging all at once. They'd be totally overloaded. Second, you've got the cost. We're talking billions in what's called capital expenditure. That's the huge upfront investment needed to build all this stuff. And third, the bureaucracy. Oh, the bureaucracy. Anyone who's dealt with city permits knows that digging up streets to lay new cables it's a slow, painful, and super expensive process.
But what if the solution wasn't about building something totally new from scratch? What if the foundation for this whole electric revolution was already built, lining every single street in every city, basically hiding in plain sight? Let's just talk about the scale of the demand for a second. The projections show that the US alone needs to install over 5 million, that's 5 million, new public chargers by the end of this decade. That number is just staggering to think about. Okay, now think about this. There are over 40 million streetlight poles already installed right now across the country. They're everywhere, right? Spaced out pretty evenly, and this is the most important part. They are already connected to the power grid.
And here it is. This is the real aha moment. That existing streetlight grid has something like 20,000 gigawatt hours of unused electrical capacity every single year. That is a mind-boggling amount of power that is already paid for, already distributed, and it's just sitting there, waiting to be tapped.
So this is the vision. Instead of a centralized grid that's struggling to meet all this new demand, what if every single streetlight becomes a little node in a huge, intelligent, distributed power plant that's powering the future of how we move around our cities?
And that is exactly the mission of this company Popper. They've developed a tech to turn this brilliant idea into a reality, and it all starts with their core innovation.
This is it, the light pole mounted energy hub. And it's not just a charger, okay? It's a whole energy hub. It gives you fast charging and battery storage all in one self-contained unit. And it's designed to literally snap right onto the infrastructure we already have.
And here is the absolute game changer. The installation, it takes just 2 hours. Think about that for a second. 2 hours. That means no digging up roads, no laying new cables, no crazy complex construction. You just mount the hub, connect it to the power that's already there, and bam, it's ready to go. This completely bypasses all those permitting and construction bottlenecks we were just talking about. But the hardware, as cool as it is only half the story. The real brains of the operation is the software. It creates what's known as a virtual power plant. So basically, it's a cloud-based AI that acts like an air traffic controller for electricity, managing this whole network of streetlight hubs as if they were one single gigantic power plant.
And this AI is incredibly smart. It can do things like set dynamic pricing to encourage people to charge when grid demand is low. It even allows for bidirectional energy flow, which means cars could actually sell power back to the grid during peak times. But most importantly, it optimizes the whole system to make sure the local grid never gets overloaded. It's just a really elegant solution.
Okay, so the tech is brilliant, we get it. But is it a real business? Let's take a look at how Popper is turning this pilot project into a massive commercial pipeline.
Their model is actually super straightforward and really powerful. So their clients are the public lighting operators, cities and utility companies. Popper gives them a way to actually make money from their existing streetlights and hit their EV goals way faster.
And how does Popper make money? Well, they sell the hubs, and then they get a 20% cut of the charging revenue going forward. Simple.
And look, this isn't just some theory on a slide. Popper is already out there on the streets. They've got a paid pilot program up and running right now in Los Angeles, and it's fully funded by the automotive giant Hyundai. I mean, that is huge validation from a major player in the industry.
And the opportunity in LA alone is enormous. The city has this hard deadline, the 2028 Olympic Games, and they need to install 10,000 charging stations by then. A solution like Popper's, one that's super fast and avoids all that construction chaos, is perfectly positioned to help them hit that goal. But it definitely doesn't stop in LA. Popper has already built up a $50 million pipeline. They've got agreements in place with massive utilities like PG&E in San Francisco and Con Edison in New York, with those pilots scheduled to kick off in 2026. This shows some serious commercial traction on both coasts.
So to capitalize on all this momentum, the company is raising a pre-seed round of $1.4 million. And this capital is aimed directly at scaling up their operations so they can meet all this growing demand.
And they have a really clear plan for that money. You can see the funds are allocated very strategically across final proof of concept, getting into pre-production, getting all the certifications, and keeping some in reserve. It's a really focused plan for growth.
So when you zoom back out and look at the big picture, what Popper is doing is so much more than just building EV chargers. They are fundamentally reimagining how our cities can use the infrastructure they already have to build a smarter, more resilient, and more distributed energy grid for the future.
It really leaves you with this fascinating question to chew on. Could the most overlooked piece of city furniture, the humble streetlight, actually be the key that unlocks our entire electric future? It's a seriously powerful idea, hiding right there in plain sight.